afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Ulusaba sofa safari. It's a bit of a special day today, as it is International Women's Day. So to all our moms and grannies and sisters and daughters and friends and family, happy Women's Day to you all. And I hope you've had a good day, and I hope you've been spoiled by somebody at least, a flower or something small, or maybe, as we know, some of the guys are doing dinner tonight, so maybe a dinner for you this evening. But yeah, hope you've had a good day, and thanks to you all for everything that you do for us hooligans. As you can see, we are on the river. It has subsided substantially. Last time when we were here, you could see it was a full unit, where now you can see the sandbanks and so on are starting to show, which is quite nice. And we thought we heard some elephants coming down to the river. So we've been having a look, and we think they might be just beyond us over here. So yeah, we'll get going. You guys saw Trevi as Stu went past there. Trevi's a tracker and Stewie's on camera this afternoon. So if you have any questions for Stewie, please feel free to ask.
I'll relay them.
Yeah. As you can see, we are sweating. It's a little bit humid down here by the river. Damn it. But yeah, let's go see if we can see what these aliens are doing.
Enjoy the breeze on our faces.
Oh, yeah.
Might be the first one to drive here, right?
Oh, really? Trevi's saying we're the first ones to drive here. I think with the river being up, nobody's actually been able to get here. So
Yeah.
bit of an adventure.
2 months ago, I think we were underwater here.
Yeah.
Maybe get down about less of lines, maybe.
That should be okay.
Yeah. What's called?
I'll take it flat. There's one on the other side of the rest.
Yeah, maybe they'll come down from Skellum. Female over there. Then the majority in the clearing here, right?
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Nice big female.
Here come the youngsters over here. Looks like they've been in the river and swimming. Maybe when they crossed the river it was about that deep. You heard that side, right?
Yeah.
We would be lucky here around this side.
I think if we go around here, we might. I think there might be a few more.
I know you're big and strong.
The bushes make a nice thwacking sound, so
Yeah.
they have lots of fun.
But as he got down,
Yeah,
I thought he was
around would be nice to
thought he was going to come screaming at us.
As you can see, it's Lovely and vibrant down at the river.
Water
Beautiful
buck as well down there.
colors here.
There's another big herd on the other side of the river, so there's actually a very good chance that these two herds are communicating to one another. Let's see if the other herd comes across.
Yeah, as Trevor said, you can see some of them are nice and dark. They've definitely been swimming. You can see one youngster that's coming across there has got a nice line down his side, so he didn't swim, he just crossed the river. Wasn't as keen as his mates.
Already had a bit of a dusting. There you go.
It's amazing and really nice to see behind the water back up on the bank. All the white-fronted bee-eaters are the colonies back and nesting.
Yep.
A little bit difficult to see, but up on the riverbank there, a beautiful bird, the white-fronted bee-eater, they're busy nesting there. And possibly with binoculars, a beautiful green color all against the bank there. Another early that side. Seems like the herd is split up a bit up in the top there as well. They're heading towards a crossing here, right? There's crossed over there now. Another elephant's coming
another one
behind us there.
Nice.
He's got to decide which way around the vehicle he goes. You can see the bee-eater colony just above the waterbuck. Quite distinctive, those waterbucks. So just above that, all the whole nests in the bank there.
Yeah, it's quite nice seeing that because there's not too many birds, but bee-eaters and kingfishers are our two birds that we get here that will build their own nest holes. There's a couple of other birds that will utilize them once they've been built, but the bee-eaters and the kingfishers themselves build the nests. And they can be nice and deep. Some of the nests can be 4 or 5 feet into the bank, so nice and deep.
Go forward. Sounds like they're talking to their friends outside.
Looks like he got left behind.
Yeah.
See the vegetation packed up on the bushes here. The river in full flow this road was submerged. This was all underwater a couple of weeks ago.
Go down to Skeleton. It's incredible how once a river has come through, how the whole roads, everything are gone, especially along the river. Bit of fun trying to find our new path. Watch the branch there, Stu.
I don't know, I think one of our viewers didn't quite hear you there, Trevor. You got the branch in the face.
When I say duck, I don't mean the bird, I mean duck your head.
Sorry, one of the elephants is just having a quick pit stop on the road.
Just trying to decipher whether that was the elephant in the bush or if it was
Trevor.
you.
If I was capable of that, I'd be proud of it.
Wow.
It's incredible with these youngsters when they show their cheekiness.
Happy that they've put us in our place. We're not following them.
Except that we are.
This one up ahead here, Stu, if you see.
Yeah.
He's like quite a
He's-
oldish calf, but he's still trying to suckle there.
That's why he complained. She kicked him.
Yeah. As you can see, his tusks are out. This is at least an 8 or 9 year old. Normally at about 4 or 5, that's their weaning. And their tusks start coming out, and it's almost trying to put your mouth up. The tusks actually prevent you from reaching. So this one is taking a chance. He's possibly realized that that particular mother was lactating, so he thought he might go for a sneaky drink. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Naughty little boy. Tusks are thick there, at least.
Yeah, he looks like he's got good potential to be a big bull. Right. Is that road still there? That road's gone.
Yeah, that road's gone.
We're gonna try this road.
Let's try.
Take that link back up to come on there.
I think that should be good. nice large kudu bull feeding in that thicket. You guys might be able to see those spiral-shaped horns that are sticking out there. These horns are beautiful, but can be a little bit of a hindrance at times. Obviously, being so long, you're trying to run away from lions or something through the bush, you might find yourself getting caught up. So you always find when the kudu bulls run, they lay their heads back so that the horns run over the shoulders and he doesn't catch himself. Bachelor herd of impala. Right, now that kudu bull was by himself and these impala rams are together, but kudu bulls will also sometimes form bachelor herds, and then sometimes you'll find these impala rams on their own as well. Alright, so yeah, sometimes you'll find them on their own, or in these groups. In the groups like this, there's obviously more protection as there's more eyes and ears. It's not always smart being on your own, but there can be a little bit of a testosterone issue every now and then, and the boys will have a bit of an argy-bargy, chase each other about, but inadvertently almost set up a hierarchy. That way, once the rut comes around, that will be the first male to challenge the rams that will be with the harems, and then test yourself, practice. You've got to practice fighting and so on. Doesn't help if you're big and you can't fight. So they've got to keep themselves fighting and in shape and so on. You can actually see two of them are... Oh, is he?
The rutting season is coming soon now. The rutting season, March, April, May, around that time. And then we start hearing this very distinct snorting sound, and almost like a grumbling, growling sound that these males make, and that's a rutting sound. The word rut almost means to roar. And as Ra was saying, the competition between the males, and even now throughout the year there's always a testosterone battle going on, and younger males fighting, almost practicing for later life when it comes to the serious time of establishing a harem of females.
It's a pity you can't see them, but I'm sure you guys can hear them. But every now and then there's carmine bee eaters.
Oh, a lovely big elephant.
There is a fairly large elephant bull approaching. Oh, no, never mind. I'll cut off the road into the thicket. There are two. Oh, there. Should we go back? These are two big guys here.
Yeah, let's have a look. Maybe there's a bit of interaction. Hold tight, there's two. Ryan, you can go in here. Yeah. Okay. See what we're going to do. So yeah, they seem pretty relaxed.
Big boys, man. I just want to make sure that one on the right isn't that bull with a single tusk.
Fine. This is beautiful. This is really nice. Look at this. This is very special. He's a massive tusker, hey?
Yes, beautiful elephant. Both of them.
Hopefully the signal has improved. It was a little bit blurry, but we were down at the river. Hopefully things are looking a bit more clearer now.
Often when you see these two elephants, almost like a standoff, but possibly an actual conversation going on. Just watching their body language is definitely an interaction there. And I'm sure the one on the far side saying, I know how big you are. He's beautiful, man, that's amazing.
That is a nice area. No, they seem to have sorted out their differences now, both feeding again. You'll probably find these guys have met each other numerous times through the years, and they may just not have seen each other for a couple of months. Come and greeted an old companion or an old friend. I think it's pretty safe to say when you're looking at two bulls of this size, you're looking at bulls that are easy in their mid to late 30s, if not 40s.
He's a magnificent bull.
It's beautiful. Those tusks are beautiful as well. Now you guys may have mentioned when we approached these two, I said to Trevor, you must just watch out for a bull that's got a single tusk. And there's been a big guy with one tusk that's had a bit of fun with some of our trackers and a couple of maintenance vehicles and the staff driver, etc. But that's one way of, so it's obviously not always set in stone, but one way of seeing how an elephant bull might behave is looking at his tusks. A bull like this with nice big symmetrical tusks, not very little chipping or anything on the tusks, will often show that he's a more relaxed, calm bull. He doesn't get himself involved in unnecessary fights and things like that, and that's why his ivory stays like that. Where you'll often see bulls with broken tusks and huge chips out of them, and those are often the guys that have massively tattered ears as well, and those are the bruisers. Those are the guys that like their fighting, and it shows. I mean, we had a big guy also in Must the other day, similar to this guy. As calm as a mouse, but nothing at all. Was very chilled. And then, like I say, we have this lunatic running around at the moment. So yeah, just something to look at. Like I say, it's not always as so, but a beauty.
You can see when they both stopped like this. You can see he stopped, and possibly a conversation was happening there. And again, they communicate at about 12 hertz, where we can only hear at 24. So without a doubt, there's an interaction going on here, which is always fascinating to watch with animal behavior.
Yeah, the last few weeks, or I suppose almost a year now, you guys have spent a lot of time with us, with the elephants, and you've heard all the noises and the trumpeting and the screaming, and people often forget that up to 90% of the elephant's communication we can't hear. So there's that much more that we don't even know about.
Question as to why the one on the left's trunk was waving up in the air like that. Earlier
they were smelling each other. You could see the two bulls had their trunks up together, so they were obviously identifying one another. And then also remember, we've seen it as well, where when they greet each other, they'll often put their trunks into each other's mouths. They blow air into each other's mouths, and that helps with identification if they need it that far. But these guys, obviously, like I said, you can see both were ears out. They calmed down, then the trunks went up, and they started smelling each other, identified one another, and now you can see feeding together. Yeah, with a nose that long, there's a hell of a lot of receptors in there, and so elephants can pick that up from that distance even. Okay, it's you, cool, no problem. So very important for them.
Just give an idea as to how close he is now, Ryan.
He's, I'd say, from where Ryan is 6 foot, 6 to 8 feet away, maybe. Maybe a bit more, maybe 10 feet. Let's call it 10 feet. But as Ryan mentioned, body language is key when we're watching the animals. You can see by this big guy, we first watched him very closely to make sure that his body language was fine and we can enjoy him at this proximity.
The thing is as well, people will sometimes go, you're crazy to get this close, but we didn't. He came to us. And that's the key, and that's sometimes things people forget is you can't just drive in here. You have to let them come to us. And that's why these guys, there's the trunk wave again. See that? Now he's smelling us. All right. Identifying us.
A big boy.
There we go.
See how he trunk straight to the mouth.
There's that blowing in the mouth that I just mentioned.
Often when they do that as well, often measuring one another's tusks, bit of a trunk wrestle, bit of a bonding to establish who's the more dominant one of the two here.
Oh, he's got no hair on his tail.
Yeah.
You see that? He's got a bald tail tip. The elephants usually have that thick, coarse black hair that comes out of their tails, and it's very thick. But he's missing his.
Good,
Suppose if you don't have hair on your head, you've got to go bald somewhere else, huh?
There's no way to talk about Stuart on the drive, Ryan.
I don't know, Trev. We each take our caps off and we'll see. What was that?
Fantastic sighting. That's really amazing.
That's cool. I'm glad you came around the corner there.
Imagine the conversation.
All right. I hope you're all good with that.
Hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah,
That was very
that was
special.
very cool.
That was incredible.
That was very, very nice.
I'll go a little bit and then you can go left hand down, right? Alright, cool.
Definitely the first ones to drive here as well. moved away from the river, and you can feel how the humidity's almost disappeared.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Oh, looking there. Yeah. Oh, of course, of course. I like with birds and this bloody phone.
That was a yellow-billed hornbill.
Yep. Was a yellow-billed hornbill.
That is looking like a spectacular sunset forming slowly.
Flushed a little scrub hare there. Almost time for them to come out, but remember those little scrub hares are nocturnal by nature. They'll stay in the thick stands of vegetation like this during the day, and then come out and feed at night. Good way of avoiding the birds of prey. Go through the bush here on our way, maybe take in a water hole this time of the evening, see what activity is around the water hole. So nice little evening drive into the sunset. you can see, as Trev said, some young guinea fowl. The right hand side, those are the chicks. It's back. So what guinea fowl will do is often numerous pairs will come together, and then rather than having clutches of eggs all over the show, what they do is they lay their eggs together. So you might find 3 or 4 pairs will clutch together, and in that way they can also all take turns sitting on the eggs. And it's not so much about who's your child, but rather safety in numbers. And in that way hopefully one of yours does survive. Okay.
Sunlight coming through.
Mm.
I saw the going west. As the youngsters coming out onto the road, you can see they lack that blue head of the adults. And they can almost take a full year for them to get that blue face and those wattles and then the bony crown.
There's another in the background.
Nice. Right, now we've seen with a lot of the antelope, like your kudu and your nyala, how they have those white vertical stripes on them to help break up the shape of the body, helps it make it a little bit more difficult for predators. And you can see impala actually have it as well. Rather than having the numerous stripes though, alright, they've got the 3 horizontal stripes, different colors. And again, especially in the winter time, in the long grasses, and that it helps break up the shape of the body, helps them camouflage a little bit better. Picked up a little stick hitchhiker there. Go around.
You can go from that side if you want.
It's up to you.
Playing there
I was just thinking if we go that side,
with the light.
with
Yes.
the light from the viewpoint.
Cool. Perfect.
Cool. Alright, so we've got some nice hippos at the dam here, but they are on the other side. So we're just going to loop around. We'll get some nice lights on them, hopefully from that side. Who knows what else we might bump into. See the crested spurfowl. They've also got little ones. That's very cool.
4 of them.
That's cool. Yep, not only the mammals that have babies at this time of the year.
The little dwarf mongoose on the edge of the road. We'll see if he follows them. There, he just turned in now.
Mom's gonna go one way and the chicks are gonna go the other.
We stay together. There we go. So, Mom.
Just come around to the other side of the water hole, closer to where the hippos are.
Nice and close. Big crocodiles there.
Oh, there's a little one there. See that?
Next to Mom
She's
there.
got a little one here.
Beautiful. I think in Jakarta here, yeah. So the hippo is possibly starting to wake up this time of the day. Would have been submerged to hydrate their skins, and then after dark start to leave the water to spend the night grazing. This mother here has got a tiny baby stew in the front there.
Yeah, so the female with the little one that Trev just pointed out there, you can see how she's separated herself from the rest of the group. They'll often do that for the first month or two of the little one's life, just to make sure he's protected. One doesn't want anything to happen. Remembering that hippos are incredibly aggressive and they will kill each other's youngsters. Not only the bulls practicing infanticide, but even females and so on. A couple of years ago we watched it where they started killing each other's youngsters simply because of the drought competition. And the easiest things to get rid of first is somebody else's youngster, which is a bit nasty. See the croc down there, Trev.
Hoping this big bull will give us a threat here.
Yeah,
This one in the middle here.
he's a big guy.
Yeah, the more pronounced eye sockets.
Oh,
Watch
Mom.
mum there.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You can
Oh,
do
I
it.
see yours underwater. Sure, this Tucano's got chicks. Sounds like he's contacting. That's quite a dismal attempt.
They're just warming up.
Yeah, it's warming up. Now, with regards to the little hippo, it's quite a short gestation period. If you look at something like our elephants and rhinos and giraffe, they've got quite long gestation periods. And you'd think similar with a hippo being of similar size or being such a large size. But again, only 8 months. And they reckon the reason for it is, remember when let's see, this big guy's just turned his attention to one of the ladies. No, lost. She said no. So yeah, remembering that when a fetus is in a womb, it is surrounded by water. And so with mom being surrounded by water all the time, they believe it helps the fetus grow a lot faster. Now when it is time to give birth, she gives birth in the water. Alright, she doesn't come out. She will most definitely move into the shallows so that the little one can stand. But birth in the water. And then even remember when the little one suckles in the water. So he'll take a big breath. Mom will often move into the shallows and lay on her side. He'll take a big breath, go underwater, take a drink, and then come back up. Now, a couple of years ago, I was asked by a kid that was told by his teacher that hippo milk is pink. And so he was wondering if they had strawberry flavored milkshake. And that actually blew me away. I'd never heard that before. And after checking it out, I found out that they do have a different colored milk. It's not like ours or like a cow's white milk, but it is a soft pinkish, almost like a chamomile lotion type color at pink. So a little bit of a different color.
What you're trying to say, when you want to come back, you want to be a baby hippo.
Yeah.
Strawberry milkshake.
Right, on tap.
That little one is very, very small.
very curious. They will turn to look at us and
There we go.
Yeah.
Got you on.
There we go. Oh, still half-hearted. Yeah, so what Mom's doing there, again, we've spoken about it, just warning us, reminding us the weaponry she possesses in that mouth, making sure we don't come anywhere near her little one.
little ones having a game of hide and seek. Possibly a little bit too deep there for it, so it's bobbing up and down from the bottom up to lean on Mom's back.
Maybe they'll often climb up onto Mom's back or even lay over her neck, brace themselves like a little scarf over Mom and catch a ride. But yeah, like Stewie says, he's obviously just popping up and down at the moment. While Stu's panning on the beautiful sunset and surroundings, I think it's a good time to say thank you for joining us this week. I hope you've all had a nice relaxing afternoon and enjoyed the elephant bulls as much as we did. But yeah, have a great evening. Hope all those men get to the dinners now for the ladies, but yeah, have a good week, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, everybody. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week. All the best.
But it's a pleasure, everybody. Enjoy the week ahead. See you next Monday.
Very good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our Sofa Safari this afternoon, and it's our 45th edition. We're starting off with a bang this afternoon. As you can see, we're in the rain, which is not going to stop us, but just behind me is a beautiful wild dog It's a new pack that's come down from the southern Manuleti, and this particular individual has been quite active, hopefully going to activate the rest of the pack to get going. It's nice and cool conditions. The rain, the rain is what it is. We'll make the most of it. But just to introduce the rest of the team this afternoon, we've got Stewie on camera, we've got Kyle tracking for me this afternoon.
Hello.
So we're going to see what happens. Obviously we'll do our best with the signal and the rain, but I'm hoping that this pack does get active while we're sitting here, and potentially nice open areas, nice cool weather, perfect conditions for them to be active. So we'll hopefully get a better view of them now, and we'll see what happens. The reason that they called the African wild dog, or sorry, I'm distracted by every time they move their heads hoping they'll get active. The painted wolf, they belong to the wolf family. They're the purest bred canid, which is our dog family. What's interesting with the wild dogs is that they've evolved not to have a dew claw, as most domestic dogs have, and their two middle toes are actually fused together. And what's amazing about that is it's got to do with their endurance. These dogs can run, their endurance is incredible. They literally run their prey down. And, when they hunt, we refer to it as pretty much organized chaos, because they all go in different directions and they'll run their prey literally to the ground from exhaustion. So while we're sitting here, let's hope that they do get active. The one dog was quite active now, and maybe it'll activate the rest of the pack to get going. How do you think that was maybe the alpha female?
Settle down again.
As you can tell, yes, it's a very rainy day, rainy and grey, but we do have a couple of these dogs in view. Heads down here, but I think some of the others around the corner have had their heads up, and like Travis says, you saw the one there moving back and forth, perhaps trying to get the other members of the pack to get going.
Very interesting. Within the pack, they're led by an alpha male and female, but there's numerous theories of the experts out there that when they want to activate the pack, it's almost like a sneeze. They make a sneezing sound to activate them, to get them going. They're very, very sociable animals, so when one gets going, there's quite a bit of excitement, but it seems possibly, give it a little bit of time. Maybe the one did pair off there, so maybe when it comes back, we'll hopefully get the pack active. Under this little thicket here, there's at least two there.
Heads up there.
Quite distinct with this pack. There's one that's up now. Let's drive forward and see where we get.
going to lay down right behind the leaf. Don't blame them for taking a little bit of cover while there is a light drizzle about.
Another one active there, has Stu. I cannot rest.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely it looks like we're going to get a bit of activity. The other one's a little bit further back out of view, are putting their heads up. Just takes one of the alpha male or the female or one of the more senior dogs to get active, and then hopefully they'll activate the pack. Quite interesting with this particular pack, for those of you on social media and follow pictures, the alpha female, we think it's the alpha female, she's got a piece of her gum that either is missing or in a fight, so her top right canine sticks out all the time, so that's quite distinctive to identify this particular pack. They cover huge distances. It's believed that they come from the Manuleti Reserve, which is quite far from here.
Trev did mention earlier, this is a new pack to the area called the Pungwe Pack. We can see at least 6 or 7 here for now. Not entirely sure of the complete number in the pack. There's a
beautiful, that looks like one of the males. Let's see if he gets the pack going. may notice while he's lifting his tail that very distinct white fluffy tail. Now, that's a very important following sign when they're following each other in long grass or dense bush. Body language is vitally important. Also their intentions. When they stalk or if they're following something, they'll flatten their heads and then they'll watch one another very carefully. Let's see if he gets the rest of the pack going now. Really trying to. Well, it seems like he's on the scent of something. Maybe the others will get going, but with the rain. Carl was saying that you can see that dog is looking to the northwest where there's potentially some impala.
Looks like he's coming back this way, Trev.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully he seems pretty keen to get going. You know, this time of the day, the dogs are, you know, they're diurnal animals, so they're generally active during the day, morning, late afternoon, or their hunting times or activity times. At night, they'll lay low to avoid any competition from other predators. So this time of the day, generally they'll be up and active. Of course, we find the rain definitely has something to do with it. Let's see, this one dog, he seems pretty keen to get rid of his itch first and then perhaps hopefully activate this pack and get going.
Yeah, I think he's ready.
He's ready, eh? He needs to get the rest of the pack going as well.
Change his direction, walk in their eye line, maybe they'll all see him.
Possibly, yeah. Let's see his interaction with the rest of the dogs here and see what happens. I think he's got the message. Stu, I'm going to try drive in there, we get a better view. Youngster as well.
The fire was coming.
Yeah. Let's see. So this dog's, yeah, he would be about under a year old. Generally, they den in the months of May, June, that time. So that seems to be a survivor from last year's litter. You can see he's busy. Let's turn around there, Stu. Oh, that's a beautiful dog.
They're all still playing now. It's the adults.
Nice.
Approaching young or greeting.
Are they?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. This is what we were hoping for. A bit of patience. Look at their body language. Watch here. Look at that, guys.
Now we can get an idea of the number.
Yes. You can see the social bonding with them, their tails up, excited. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now. A little bit of patience and persistence, and which is part of safari. And then you get to see such incredible animals like this. For those of you that don't know, I mean, Carl, I think the wild dog or painted wolf is within the top 10 most endangered animal
That's correct.
on the planet. Yeah, I think the general count in southern Africa is only 400 animals left in the wild.
I think the numbers are going up now.
Are they? I think some very good conservation projects and that on the go is definitely attributed to that. But yeah, that looks like the alpha male there. See how big he is.
It's
See
the one
that
that's
one?
running up and down the road.
Yeah, all that one there in the middle. Look how thick his neck is. And there's the female with the canine that's sticking out. I think those two are the alpha male and female.
These are the two Trevor's pointing out. This male is staying right close to this female with the.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
that's
her.
generally a sign of who's the dominant dog or male dog is. And there she is there, the one with the missing sort of gum area.
There were two more in the bush here that we didn't even see.
They can't resist that smile.
Yeah.
It's actually quite nice that he did a bit of recon first. As he went around the corner, I'm sure he spotted all those impalas. Now once he's reassured all the bonds and they're ready to go, he's already picked his direction. Yeah, I think this is going to be...
Let's see.
Could be
Let's hope
interesting.
they go that way. Seems like a few youngsters from last year, Carl, which is a success. I see two there, maybe 3 or 4 that would have survived.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more hiding. They just keep popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's amazing how they've wedged themselves in during the rain. But now you can see they're standing around almost waiting for one of the senior dogs, most likely the alphas, to take the lead to see what they're going to do. They don't look very full-bellied, so potentially maybe if they find an opportunity to hunt, as Carl was mentioning, that one dog definitely saw that group of impala. So let's just see what they do. Very common with the dogs, you notice how massive, how big their ears are. So their hearing is phenomenal. So if any sounds of impala grazing or even calling one another, they're going to pick that up quite quickly. Very good sense of smell, and when they zone in on a target, then they move very quickly. Like I mentioned a bit earlier, the endurance is just incredible. So this is exciting. Let's see. Oh, another dog's just come out of thicket there. Is that the alpha female there, Carl?
One of the two, yeah.
Yeah. You can see how they're checking these open areas, looking for opportunities. Viewers and as what we are as observers, we never want to give the prey species any disadvantage or the prey or the dogs an advantage. So we've got to be very ethical how we go about, especially when the animals are hunting. While they're behaving naturally like this, it's perfectly fine, but when they're on the hunt, it's vitally important that we maintain our ethics so that we don't give it away for either or. Yes. a wildebeest calling in the background. So maybe the wildebeest has seen him and he's alarm calling. It'll be interesting to see. I think this way a little bit because the junction is heading north and that's the important signal there. So they're trying to pick up more pretty much in the direction.
Give us a thumbs up if the audio is back. There's been quite a bit of rain around, and I'm sure that filming here is affecting the microphone a bit with some of the rain on the camera. That side, Carl, we just need to make sure we don't hit the mud here. Yeah, I think with all the rain, the microphone has been affected. So I'm much closer to the mic. You'll probably be able to hear me a lot better than the others. Right, they're starting to get on the move. Trevor's just trying to make sure that we move across this clearing in an ethical and safe way. No news on that male line. No further news from our side.
This could be quite interesting, guys. There's a group of wildebeest here with youngsters. It'll be interesting to see what interaction happens here. The adult wildebeest are way too big for a wild dog to attack, but they do have youngsters here, and sometimes dogs are quite strategic in how they go about potentially trying to isolate a young wildebeest. So we're going to give them a little bit of space so that we don't have any negative impact here, but the dogs are heading straight for this group of wildebeest in front of us here. I'm going to edge forward a little bit just in case we get a glimpse.
We see to the west shortly down.
The behavior has changed with the wildebeest. They were quite calm and relaxed moving through the clearing, and now they're all staring down on the dogs that are just around the corner of the bushes. We can't quite see them in view yet.
As well. The wildebeest was snorting, which is alarm calling. So the zebras they're all gathering just to see what's going on and what potential danger there is. You'll see the adult wildebeest will possibly even chase the dogs away, and you'll see how the young wildebeest stay right in the middle there for protection. very, very small wildebeest in that second group there. Very interesting to see what these dogs try here.
It's also a very young foal with the zebras just to the right.
So well camouflage that young foal is against the mob. Running at the dogs now. They're trying to chase them. And then it turns what do you think, Carl?
I think they're all fine. You'll get the horn first one.
Careful where we drive, not to drive in the mud here. But we're going to loop around and see if we get another sighting of them.
You notice how they've all corralled around, they're all pointing outwards. A potential threat to the youngsters. The youngsters all in the middle of the group there. We're going to see if we can find the dogs just through the other side of this thicket. Just in here.
Find the branches there, guys. What's this here? Wildebeest after them again.
Nicely manoeuvred there, Trevor.
Show you the stars later.
Extra rain shower.
Look at that. Up ahead there. Very persistent, yeah.
trying to get a number figure. Obviously, they were all hiding earlier. So it was extremely challenging to get all of them in one shot. Now that they've come out into this clearing, you can kind of get an idea of how much is in this pack and the chance of success of what they can bring down and what they can't bring down. Obviously, the youngsters that, like Trev was mentioning, definitely from last year. And what they'll do is they'll try and keep up with the parents, but I don't think they will contribute too much to the beard. With the stamina, with the experience, it's incredible to see. Anytime that you have a beautiful wild dog sighting, it's always worth taking the time, just putting in a few extra minutes. It always pays off to do it.
Many people ask us, what's the key to a good safari? And I often say to people, persistence and patience and keeping an open mind. And from sleeping under the tree to a sighting like this is just incredible. It's definitely made my week for sure. You can watch how the youngsters often try lick or around an adult's mouth. Wild dogs are renowned for regurgitating food for the youngsters. So the youngsters are hungry. You can see that alpha female, that youngster was licking around her mouth and she's begging for food. So as we can see by the body language of the dogs, there's no way they're going to go for these wildebeest or zebra. So their prey type more small to medium-sized antelope, impala being the most common, maybe nyala or a bushbuck. But just watching by their body language, they have no intention of taking those wildebeest on. I think you don't want to underestimate the strength of a wildebeest or a kick of a zebra.
Like 13 so far.
13, it's a nice number. It's really fantastic. Now, considering of the numbers left in the wild, and to see 13 dogs in one sighting, that's fantastic. Very close, look at that.
The youngster close to mom there.
Look there.
Here they come
Another
back.
very important thing is in a sighting like this, it's incredible to see the interaction between prey and predator. But you've got to make sure that you're out of their way. The last thing you want to do is have a fully grown dog that runs straight into the car. As you can see, we're in a nice beautiful open clearing. Lots of escaped routes for the animal, for us. Yeah, try to stay involved, but just try to stay out of the way. I think what makes it a little bit more interesting is the whole maternal instinct of, sorry, I think what makes it very interesting is naturally wildebeest will chase predators away. When you take that, the fear, and with maternal instinct, it just amplifies it by 100%. So now, it's not only for the mother to survive, it's now a newborn that you want to look after. And that's why you might typically see a little bit more aggression coming from her.
Folks, what we're going to do as we work as team here, we share our sightings with everyone. So I'm going to allow somebody else to come and really enjoy this and share it with their guests as what we've done. But we're not finished this afternoon yet. We're going to carry on and see what else we can find. I really hope you enjoyed that. For us, that is such special interaction to see between prey and predator, and obviously the incredibly rare painted wolves or wild dogs. And we know that's Richard's favourite animal, which I'm sure he's enjoying. So we're going to carry on, give somebody else a chance, and see what else we can find. Come on. view of this beautiful sight of the zebra and the wildebeest. Always so special to see our planes going around. They're lucky they.
Again, apologies if the sound is quite muffled with the two guides. They are sitting further away from the mic, and with the water affecting it, I can understand and apologize, it can be quite difficult to hear. But we're going to make our way out of that sighting and see what else we can find around the corner.
Hyena in the mix here. It's a big spotted hyena. You may notice that he possibly heard the alarm calls of the zebra and the wildebeest. You can see his nose is up, his ears is up, and for him this is potential opportunity. So if he hears alarm calls, he knows potentially is another predator that could have potentially made a kill for him to steal, or she to kill it. With the spotted hyenas, the females are a lot bigger than the males. This is a female spotted hyena, so she might be following the sounds of the zebra and the wildebeest. Guys, what we're going to do, a bit of a crazy afternoon out here, even though that it's in the rain, that just shows you the magic how it can turn on every now and again. So in amongst all this chaos with the dogs and the wildebeest and the zebra, while one of the other guys was on their way in, he suddenly saw a leopard take an impala into a tree, which is crazy. So we're going to have a look at him, and we're going to finish off with something magical like this. it looks like a young impala that this young male leopard has been able to catch. Seems like a fairly fresh kill. It's just so fortunate that within such a small area we've been so lucky to see this.
Exactly why the hyena might be around.
It's very possible, like Stewie's saying, it's very dense at the base of the tree, and maybe that hyena got sent to this and then forced that leopard to horse the kill up into the tree.
Do we have an ID on the leopard, Trev?
I haven't not been able to see spot pattern, but it's definitely a young male, and the area that we're in, possibly the Pungwe male. We saw him a few weeks ago on Sofa Safari. I do think it's him just based on the fact that it's a young male and that we in the particular area that he's been hanging around in. But once we can see his face a bit better, I can get a spot pattern, we'll be able to make a positive ID. I think it's Kokavela's son.
Not sure if you can hear Trevor with the mic problems we've been having. We think it could possibly be Shangwa, which is, for some of you that know your leopards, is Kokovela's young male. And we've got another youngster just joining us. Wondering what all the fuss is about.
It's the Pungwe male. Yes. That is very close, huh?
Obviously heard that.
You can see his face nicely just looking at that face and spot pattern. Yeah, that must be the Pungwe male. So you heard him he dropped a piece of the carcass there. That hyena might leap around and get it.
That was just out of camera, off the edge of the camera, but a leg from the carcass fell down, and I think the hyena heard it. Might be circling around.
We can hear the wild dogs not far from us. It'll be interesting if they pick up the sight of the leopard and investigate, which would be an incredible thing to see. What a beautiful sight. It is such an impressive looking cat.
Funny how you can get an idea of age. Probably older, more experienced leopard wouldn't pay so much attention to the hyena. You kind of just get a glimpse, realize what it is, and then carry on with its daily routine, which is just
point is busy feeding on that carcass. As you can see, he's been glancing over, watching behind his back, and he's a little bit skittish, a little bit nervous, indicating that they're not a fully grown male.
And in this case, where being able to climb and hoist your kill is in the leopard's favor, because he's got wild dogs not far from him, and he's got a hyena below him. So the beauty of being able to hoist works in his favor here.
The question earlier about whether Kokobela had another youngster at present.
Yeah, we believe she does have one youngster. I'm not sure if it's a male or a female, but we do believe she does have one youngster. The guys have been seeing her every now and again. See, this time of the year with the bush being so thick and their den sites are obviously very difficult to find and see, but yes, it does sound like she's been successful again, and she's got a young one hopefully in the next couple of weeks and months. That youngster survives and we get to see her, which is good news in the area for the leopard population.
Looks like he has it nicely secured in the fork of that tree now.
So folks, we're going to come to the end of our afternoon safari. It's been such an electric hour, basically. To think in an hour to see what we've experienced and had has been incredible. It's been so wonderful sharing it with you, and we're gonna hand off, and cheers to Carl who's been tracking. He's gonna get home and go into a tumble dryer, I presume. We apologize for the noise of the sound, obviously in the pouring rain. It's a challenge, but I really hope you enjoyed what you saw this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you next week, and keep safe, and we will hopefully next week it's nice and sunny. All the best. Cheers.
Cheers everybody, thanks for joining. See you next week.